As the cold weather comes to an end, we wanted to do something a little different for the season finale. 3 amazing places in Pittsburgh that didn't make it into their own episodes. However, we wanted to take the time to show them to you. As we end season 3, we cannot thank you enough for all of your support. We will see you again in 2 weeks with some amazing news. Until next time, explorers, stay safe. The floodgates were envisioned as part of a larger Turtle Creek flood control project along Turtle Creek in Pittsburgh. The multi-phase plan was the result of a flood in 1907 and the St. Patrick's Day flood of 1936. 2 floodgates, 80 by 30 foot and 40 by 20 foot, were constructed at the head of the Turtle Creek between July 1937 and January 1938 at the cost of $500,000. The gates by default were held 20 feet above the water and lowered in times of need. The project also saw the installation of 3 5,000 horsepower electric pumps with a combined capacity of 7,500 cubic feet per second, or more than 3.3 million gallons of water per minute. The floodgate was controlled by the Turtle Creek Valley Flood Control Authority. These have got to be the largest power transformers I think I've ever seen. By 1983, the flood control equipment had deteriorated and required $1.3 million in renovations to return the project to as-built conditions. The floodgate and pumps underneath the Westinghouse bridge had essentially been rendered useless due to silt buildup. The debris basins had become clogged and required dredging, but the Turtle Creek Valley Flood Control Authority was not able to secure the reliable funding needed to maintain the waterway. The estimate that it would take $2 million to restore the flood control project in 1988, and $150,000 to $200,000 would be required per year to maintain the creek once it was dredged and restored. The Army Corps of Engineers requested that the Allegheny County, instead of the Turtle Creek Flood Control Authority, sponsor the project. However, the floodgate would not be restored and now sits abandoned and decaying. The lock lowering mechanism, or well, raising.
So I have, this is where your baby steps. Here, hold this camera for a second.
This was some kind of an electric motor of some sort. You can see all the, they've all been cut off, but all the windings. The Westinghouse Atom Smasher was a 5 megavolt Van de Graaff electrostatic nuclear accelerator operated by the Westinghouse Electric Company at their research laboratories in Forest Hills, Pennsylvania. It was instrumental in the development and practical applications of nuclear science for energy production. In particular, it was used in 1940 to discover photofussion of uranium and thorium. It was the first industrial Van de Graaff generator in the world and marked the beginning of nuclear research for civilian applications. Built in 1937, it was 65 feet tall, pear-shaped tower. It went dormant in 1958. In 1985, it was named an electrical engineering milestone by the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. In 2012, the property surrounding the Atom Smasher was purchased by P&L Investments LLC. The company was run by Gary Silversmith, a developer who intended to build apartments and expressed interest in saving the Smasher. Leslie Park in Lawrenceville sits overlooking Butler Street at 46th Street, next to the Allegheny Cemetery, being one of the smallest parks in the city with approximately 4.71 acres. The property originally belonged to the Schlossenberger estate. The Schlossenbergers had used the property as a site for their summer home. In 1903, the city acquired the property for $45,516. Originally named Lawrence Park, by 1943, the name was changed to Leslie Park after Max Leslie, a prominent Pittsburgh politician. In 1908, the city constructed the swimming pool, a wading pool, and shortly thereafter a bathhouse. The Polygon Pool is located in an area contained by a brick enclosure that sits on the hill overlooking Butler Street. The red brick pool house next to the pool also faces Butler Street. It features a green roof, a triangular pediment above the entrance, which the words Leslie is painted, and a brick chimney located behind the entrance. The building is divided into two wings on either side of the entrance, and each wing has multiple square windows, many of which are boarded up and filled with brick or missing. Since the decommission in 2003, the pool has sat empty in the park and in the past has faced instances of vandalism. The Leslie Park Collective, formed in 2009, has held meetings and events from an art gallery on the walls of the pool to stargazing to movie screenings, and encouraged the public to visualize reuses for this space.